Hi, this is DMAC Crypto. So today, today I want to talk about how I turned $463 into $23,000 in crypto. I mean, if you put $463 in a bank, what kind of return would you get in a year? So this is amazing. I mean, in under less than a year, after doing a lot of research, there's information out there, right? I was able to get into a position in a cryptocurrency, put in $463 and make $23,000 in 30 days. And that's amazing, right? But the sad part about it is I lost it all. It's really sad. I'm still suffering from it because it was like just within the last month. And how did I lose it? Because of the traps and pits in being inexperienced as a crypto investor. That's why there's a difference, and I'll talk about it in other videos, the difference between a DEX and a CEX. CEX. CEX stands for Central Exchange, which is like Coinbase, eToro, Crypto.com, Binance, the ones that are coming there that are available to the masses that are a lot easier to exchange. And DEX is Decentralized Exchange, which are mostly like swaps, Uniswap, Pancake Swap, Shiba Swap, all the swaps. Okay? So I've learned that you can do short-term trading, but if you do your research, now I just want to give a disclaimer right now that this is for only informational only. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an expert. I'm learning along the way, and this is one of my painful experiences. But thank goodness my overall loss was $3,500, because what happened is, this is what happens when you're brand new at something. Never give away a seed phrase or a recovery phrase to anyone, except your loved ones or the people that are close to you. And I didn't know that, but there's a lot of good scammers out there. And so what I did is I invested in this particular cryptocurrency. And I was going to keep it for a long time. But now that I lost it, I thought, man, if I can do this, find these gems, and I'd have a strategy for short-term investments, mid-term investments, and I got long-term. Mostly I'm into long positions. Okay, and buying as much as I can before it gets to the masses. And so I bought this coin, this token, and I was going to keep it a long time, 2 or 3 years. But then what happened is I was looking at another coin, and I was in this social media platform that I was at, and I was looking at this particular coin, but I was deceived as a gullible and inexperienced crypto investor. And I thought this was a support. And the reason why it's a lot more difficult, and that's why I understand that there's going to be regulations in the future, because this is to protect the consumer. And it wouldn't happen as much, but there's not going to be as much money to be made. Because once regulations start going in, once the central governments start controlling and putting these things to protect the consumer is one, and two, to get your tax dollars or your wherever, what country or nation you come from, to tax it, right? It's going to take away the opportunity. Right now, we're like if we're in the wild, wild west. We're homesteading, or the gold mine. Or like in the beginning of the dot-coms, that's what's happening. That there's so much opportunity out there that you take risks, just like in the Wild West, right? There's no set up laws, and so you got to be like a gunslinger, but in a digital world. And so you have to be very careful and never. The advice that I've learned from losing all that money, having $27,000 total, $3,500 of it was my own capital. Lost it in a wallet, software wallet, and so I gave away a seed phrase, a recovery phrase, to a customer service that looked like the company I was looking to invest in. And I don't know, it didn't feel right. I should have listened to my instinct. And my instinct was, oh man, take that money out now because that guy has my seed phrase, you know? And if someone else has my seed phrase, and before I knew it, I remember the night, I couldn't even sleep. Boom, I saw that thing disappear. You know, it was, I don't know how many coins I had. I had like 321 billion coins in that investment that I had for $463 that had already 23,000 in 30 days. And then I had another one that I really like, and I'm still investing in that one. I had 50,000 coins, and that disappeared too. And thank goodness I didn't give all the other wallets that I had available. So another good thing to do is to have different wallets, so you spread out the risk in case you do something stupid like I did. But it was really painful. I suffered from it, but it was a good experience. I mean, my overall loss was $3,500, but the profit, I couldn't even realize it. I couldn't even take it out. I wasn't going to take it out because it was going to be a long-term investment for tax purposes. You do not want to do short-term gains. So that's why I really believe in long-term investments in a year or longer, 12 months or longer, okay? Because the tax implications, and you don't want to make tons of money and not pay taxes. You're going to have to, that's tax evasion, and you're going to go to jail. And so you got to do what's right. And that's what I'm going to tell you. Do what's right. And what I've learned through all this process, after being beguiled, robbed, deceived, and I take full accountability for it because I shouldn't have never gave my recovery phrase, is to never give the seed phrase. And not only that, but money can go this quick and that fast. And so you got to be fearful in giving your, and I'm going to have a video on cold wallets. I got to do some research on it, but I'm going to have some hard wallets versus soft wallet, hot and cold. Cold wallets are disconnected from the internet, so they cannot get your seed phrase. And not only that, but you can make sure that you protect it. And there's a lot of videos there, and I'll share those too because I want to give credit to where I learned these information on YouTube and on blog posts. So that's all that I would say, is that that alone told me if I could do that for 30 days, I can do it again. If I've done it once, I could do it again, and I just got to find it. And so that's my hope. And I'm going to do that for short-term investing, which I'll pay the capital gains right away. I got to pay my tithing on it and my short-term, but mostly I literally look at the value. I'm a value crypto investor, and when I look at the startup companies, I want to make sure that it's solid, rock solid. Now, there's always risk. Remember, the volatility is high because people are there, uncertainty. And so because of uncertainty, that creates the volatility. Because the less volatile it is, the more secure it is. Like a bank, you're not going to lose your money, right? Because it's FDIC protected by $250,000. Then guess what happens? Very small amount. So this is a kind of like, people think of it as gambling, but let me tell you something. It's real. It's not gambling. It's just that the difference is are you a very skilled in this? Like, if you went out and played tennis or pickleball or played piano and you don't have any skill set, you're gonna be terrible. And that's what I am now. But I'm learning these things quickly within the last eight months. And I'm not afraid of it. It didn't make my wife happy. But anyways, but I will get better. So Like I said, if you look back to my introduction, there's gonna be discouragement and failure, and you just got to accept it. And my closing advice is, do not put any money into this high risk but high reward investment unless you're willing to lose it. But if you need to pay your rent, you need to pay your living, that should not go into that investment. You got to be wise, and that's personal finance strategies of what you should do, because sometimes greed gets involved when there's a lot of money to be made and so forth. But this is a good time to be in the crypto space, because there's going to be hundreds and thousands and billions and trillions that are going to come into it. It's only a little over $2 million cap, the whole market, and there's going to be more, because you're going to see it in banks, credit cards, stores, everywhere. It's going to be everywhere, because most people have lost faith in the fiat currency, and that's the main reason. And so they want to shut it down, but you can't stop it. It's not going to be stopped. And with the internet and everything, and the reason why it's called DeFi is because it's in many locations on many servers. It's not centralized on a server where they can just shut it off. Like, if a bank went on a run, right? Like we had in the subprime of the 2008 market crash, April of 2008, right? Where all the banks were frozen, and they were getting scared. They were taking their money out. That became a problem. So you get a run and you don't have liquidity because they're doing fractional reserve banking, right? So if they have $100, they're only holding 20, and they're loaning out 80, right? And then all of a sudden there's a run on the bank. They're going to close it because they'll go bankrupt. A lot of banks went bankrupt in 2008, and then also in 2012 with the subprime, right? Washington Mutual and all these other banks went out. And with DeFi, the costs are less when it's going directly, but once it gets centralized, there becomes a problem. But I think there's an even balance to it all, as long as there's security and safety for the consumer, and then all the scammers. Just remember, there's going to be scammers, evil hackers, and all that's going to be in there. Just be ready. It's almost like going into a jungle, an Amazon jungle. And unless you have the right tools, the machete, the mosquito spray, and all that other stuff, as you're going in there, and sometimes you're just going to learn. You're just going to learn and get wounded like I did. And so I'm going to share some of those things, what kind of tools you need, and where you can invest safely and where you won't. Eventually, in the years to come, it's going to get safer and more secure, but you're not going to make this kind of money. I mean, come on, $23,000 in 30 days. But I'm sad I lost it. I don't even know where that person was. I just stole it out of my wallet. And so I was really broke. But anyways, thank you for watching this. If you liked what I shared and you want to hear some other things that you'd like me to cover, that you want to know about, please put it down in the comments section, and give me a like and subscribe. I know I have people viewing and they're not subscribing. That's okay. Hopefully you will subscribe, and as I get a larger following, I'll make some incentives for you to subscribe, so that way my information will be valuable for you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support, future or current. Thanks.